red day in the crypto market. Don't let the fear eat you when you see these kind of volatility in the market. Because with a balanced strategy, volatility allows you to make money. So this was posted previously showing this as a support where you should be keeping caution. Now, if you are a short-term trader, yes, the market noise and volatility will get you. So you need to have that balanced kind of risk management and then look at the opportunities, not only in XRP USD pay, but also in XRP BTC pay, because there will still be naysayers out there, the doubters, and I'll say that's good because they don't see this happening and you are going to make a lot of money here. Why? Because there are doubters, they'll put on sale, they'll take their profits, they'll love you to make profits if you are patient. What many don't understand is that even if you have the best racing car, without the infrastructure to do the race, it has to still wait. But with the top class driver in one of that kind of a car, you are just waiting for the race to start, for that infrastructure to be laid. Now, why do I highlight that? Because when this infrastructure is ready, there are going to be massive inflows into this, and that infrastructure would be built considering these kind of stuff. They have to accommodate all of this. So this will change what we are talking about. Now, I've been highlighting this previously, but yes, you indeed have to understand what's happening in the market. Right now, this is kind of confusing, but yes, you do have to understand what it really stands for and then update your portfolio if you really want to. But yes, people are confused. What's happening now? What's going to happen? What this means? Yeah, don't worry. We'll actually go through that and detail all of this. Just stay tuned. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. When you actually look at the market, there are some stuff which you actually clearly understand, right? So previously when I posted this one, it's not been that far, right? Today is Feb 15th and this was on Feb 14th. So you already understood there is a possibility of a double top and then the price is at the resistance here. So if you are moving down, what would be your support? In the mean term, what would be your medium term support and all? Now you can go look at the price, where the price is for that particular asset and how long it came. So you kind of get an idea where you should be looking for a buy if you want to reaccumulate that position. Now, looking at the market, yes, there is a lot of opportunity because for me, red day in a bull market is an opportunity. Now, I would personally look at coins which actually went way lower. Say, if Ether went 4% and XRP went 10%, I'm fine. I'm happy to buy more XRP. And if I see Stella also going down with similar target market, I would also think about accumulating the same stuff. Now, when you look at the SEC, Ripple kind of stuff evolving, you'll have to understand what really is happening there. Because when the council for the parties have met and they kind of gives you a highlight that they have already discussed about that settlement and they don't actually think right now a settlement is going to happen, what does that really mean, right? So we'll actually go through all of these and detail step by step using the technicals as well, because technicals is the price and how investors react to that price at that particular time. Now you can't actually go and say, okay, XRP went down because SEC, Ripple, there is no settlement. Then why is the entire crypto market down? People will always try to make you confused for their benefit. But understand, if the entire market is down, it's not just because of XRP. That's the market cycle. If you understand that and where you are in the market cycle, you are going to make profits. Now, when we see stuff like this, say here a cryptocurrency lawyer highlights his own perspective here. Say for XRP to survive, Ripple needs to cut a deal with SEC and not look for, the court case, settlement and other stuff by replacing the Howey test. Now, at the same time, you're getting information right from the SEC. The crypto worm highlighting Howey test is kind of, backdated and this technology is a little bit different. And, if you can say one was a security and evolved as a non-security, then yeah, you'll have to apply the same rules, same set of rules for others too. So right now when you look at this, they're also going to give you documents from Ether and Ether and BTC, so that they'll compare it with XRP. So if there are similar stuffs happening, which for me looks so similar, you really have to understand that it's going to take time. Now, if it's settled early, we are happy. Read this further. While the parties agreed to notify the court once a settlement in principle was reached, the defendants to the lawsuit were quick to highlight that previous settlement discussions took place under a previous administration, with the same held principally with the division of directors who have left the SEC. So this is a huge thing which you have to understand, because the entire government has changed there with the head of SEC moving out. So the new head along with the new administration will have a huge impact on this. So don't misjudge this saying this is not going to happen or this is not going to survive. There will be individuals highlighting you different reasons based on their own perspective, but you do have to understand the fundamental of the asset and then look at what really is happening in the news, right? So once it is highlighted, the aforementioned joint letters must also be read in context with Brad Garlinger's statements last month. In Twitter thread, he posted that Ripple has indeed tried to settle with SEC, right? So that didn't actually go well. SEC didn't come back in. So if you are looking this, that kind of shows you the escrow amount. Now, yeah, I know there would be different individuals giving you different kind of ideas about that. But if it is actually about the escrow, I'm not saying SEC will actually acquire that. What I'm thinking here is like the way Ripple, the company, sell the XRP is what SEC is caring about. And if that's true, then they won't actually want Ripple, the company, to do their sales right now in this manner. So that means that has to be dealt in a different way. So one thing, they can't dump directly into the market. Okay, cool. Otherwise, they'll have to burn that supply. Or they'll have to allocate that into different institutions or corporations, or going back to IMF, SEC and all other stories or conspiracies, something like that too, because that has to be managed. Otherwise the supply would be huge. If they drop in the market, the price would go, investors are bankrupt. So SEC won't be actually going for that, right? So this has to be understood with clarity, because when you look at the new administration, you also have to understand with Gary and President Biden's nominee for SEC chairmanship, known having committed on whether XRP is a security in the past, the next few months are likely to be pretty interesting. So we are looking at next few months, not next few days, right? So when the settlement is not yet reached, this belief was fueled by SEC Commissioner Pierce, and statement and the settlement offers came out from there. Statements released on opposition to acting chair are still there. So once they all highlight these kind of stuff, you kind of go and mess this, which you shouldn't be doing, because see, this is the international arena, which is payments, cross-border payments, because it's not only about payments in one country or domestic region, it's actually about ISO 20022 making that cross-border standard, right? Read this. Join the ISO 20022 hackathon to highlight the potential for the standard's upcoming implementation to improve cross-border. So they are highlighting BIS Innovation Hub. Now we know what role it actually plays, and then Swift community, right? So you do definitely have to understand the BIS Innovation Hub has actually went through a different set of reports, which we went through personally here and gave you the details what they think and how it is going to be implemented, right? So when they actually talk about payment infrastructure, that is for cross-border payments. That's a new standard being set. So when you have a new standard in the entire world, and you look at different regions, say Middle East, say Europe, and all of the area where Ripple have partners who are working with them and executing this technology, that means it's real use case. It's solving the real pain points, right? So once that pain points are being targeted and the global stock market is like eyeing 100 trillion when it is being tokenized, It's not only that, right? You'll have the back-end processing, you'll have the entire derivative markets, you'll have the payments market, you'll have, all kind of assets moving in value. Let it be in a central bank digital currency or any tokenized form, but still you'll need a bridge asset there. And now when I actually take you to this particular article, this shows, digital assets and cryptocurrencies, right? So how President Biden's staff, head of 3 regulatory agencies, the SEC, OCC, CFTC, may have significant impact on the regulation. Now this is from here. The Biden administration, new priorities in the banking, fintech and derivative sector. So look at this clearly and come back to the BIS. You will understand what we are talking about. It's about the fintech, it's about the innovation, and it's about how you are going to change the market, the entire financial market. So here you're talking about the OCC, the SEC and the CFTC. Now here, as highlighted by Bank XRP, you can actually see this clearly, right? Served as an advisor to Ripple. So yeah, the exposure is there on Lending Club's board. And then you come back at the bottom as he highlighted here. SEC brought an enforcement action against Ripple Labs and 2 of its executives on the grounds that the sale of Ripple's digital asset XRP was unregistered security. Now, Gary-led SEC will need to decide whether to continue this action or not, first step, and then they'll have to look at further how this can be solved. So one of that solution would be, as I highlighted, that's about the supply. That's about how they put this one. Now, when you go through this and you look at different stuff, you actually see climate change as one of the top priority there. Because being a researcher personally, I can see that in universities, we are trying to concentrate more on topics which can solve climate change, one area or the other in engineering itself, right? So if you're looking at environmental engineering and the general engineering, trying to connect it with that discipline, you'll understand there is a lot of funds coming for the research. Why? Because governments, why? Because not only governments, but also giant corporations are really interested in this term, climate change, sustainability. And that's where when I see, kind of different tweets like this, I'm confused. Now, I admire Ari a lot. I follow her, I watch her. But, this is kind of, now, yeah, you don't have to actually directly go and blame an asset. But I kind of agree with digital asset investor here. Because he's kind of highlighting another news, right? At CNBC. Is talking about governments potentially cracking down on Bitcoin. Now, I'm not thinking they're going to do that because it's an open source technology. First thing, that's his thought. But me looking at these kind of changes here with BIS, IMF and others coming out and stating sustainable growth, yeah, I do definitely think that's not favorable. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's not about me, right? It's about the total investors. It's about the supply and demand, right? So if the demand is high, the price of that asset would go high. But if the fundamental is not sound and the fundamental changes based on government's actions, yeah, in a bear market, you would see how it changes, because it's not in a bull market you actually understand what the actual fundamentals are. Because it's in the bear market. If in a bear market your asset is still standing in the top 10, you can definitely understand they are not depreciating in value. Because in the last bear market, you got a lot of projects which were bankrupt. You got a lot of projects which moved out from the top 10, went to top 20, top 50, top 100. So they were depreciating in terms of their project. So if you are an investor, you would be looking at all of these sort of items as fundamental. Because when financial regulators are coming in, they will look at the financial institutions and climate risk together. Now that's the agenda right now. So the international collaboration and harmonization should be sought. So are we talking about something like that? Yes, we are. So if you do understand that, you don't have to worry about that stuff. Now, let's actually jump into the technical and then quickly wrap up this episode. So this one is XRP BTC pair on a daily. So when you look at this, yes, you can definitely argue that the MACD is crossing to the downside, or at least at that point where you can cross. But I would actually look at this point and say, yes, the RSI has already crossed to the downside. Just the MACD is still there. Now, when I plot this one for the price is just above that support line. So if the price is going to do what the RSI is showing you, then yes, the chances are you may see that the price moved to the downside. But now you go to the macro perspective, looking at it, connecting first thing like this, and the next one, it moved up like this, right? So this was first, second, and this is the third one. Now, if you actually connect that, in terms of price, you would be looking something like this. So the price still has a room to move to the downside, right? So that would be somewhere around 2 to 3% drop in this particular pair. Now, that's on a daily. Okay, agreed. You go on a weekly and then look at this particular pair, and you kind of easily understand that this is kind of the all-time lows. So what do? You buy more, you accumulate. That's what you usually do when the price of an asset is low, right? So there would be a point when BTC is slowing down and XRP is moving up, and that's when you get the rise in this particular pair. Now you go back into XRP USD, and this is what you see on a shorter time approach. If you're looking just last 1 month, then this is what you actually see. The pattern is actually breaking to the downside. So instead, you can actually take those out and then just look at what really happened in some time. So you can follow and easily understand we are still way above us. And then you can plot this particular support resistance line here. Now we broke above this one. Cool. So we tested it once, twice, and then broke above. So if we are coming back to retest, that would be 0.44, 0.43. But at the same time, you do have to understand this particular level has been acting as a support here, and a resistance here and here. So when you extend that line, you kind of get another support line there. And now you zoom in and see the price almost reached that area and went back up and closed. Now it's not yet closed, it's still working on that candle. So you'll have to wait for the confirmation where it's going to close. Now that's on a daily. Now, if you are a long-term guy, then you can move into a 3-day chart or a weekly chart. Excuse me, guys. So when you look at these kind of setups, you get the point that yes, even though the RSI is showing you a long gap, the price is not reflecting that. The price is kind of similar. So that's kind of a bearish divergence in the RSI on a 3-day chart. At the same time, you're getting the MACD saying, no, I'm crossing to the upside and I'm moving to the upside, right? So that's a little bit of confusion there. So unless the RSI breaks to the upside, you can't validate that this stuff is going way high. So what do? You go to even higher time frame to see what really is happening. That's what you actually have to do. Now, you close this, take out all the stuff, and then look at the general trend in the market. Then try to focus, okay, what really is happening? So we were moving in this particular trend. Okay, great. Then we broke below that, we came above that. Okay, all the story done. Right now we are going to retest that support line again. So if we manage to bounce from that support line, that's bullish, because at the same time the MACD is still above. It's in the positive territory. Cool, fine, and then it's crossed to the upside and is still maintaining that. Now, yeah, there would be guys who can actually understand stuff by using moving averages. So for them, I would say you can come use a moving average. Say if you want to use a shorter time frame one, you can still see on a weekly, this is like 9-day moving average, and you are still above that. So that's bullish on a shorter time frame as well. Now you can actually go into the setting, change that into a different one which you want to put. So I would try to adopt a 50-day moving average on a weekly, and then it's kind of being supportive. Now you zoom in to see what really is happening, where the next support is, and it's kind of 0.37 on 3-day. Okay, then again you zoom in on a daily, you are able to see that's around 0.34, but the direction of the moving average is to the upside. You can zoom in and see what I'm actually talking about. So there are a lot of different stuff which you do have to understand when you are following such a risky market, right? The riskiest market. So when you are looking for making profits and then moving it, you do have to understand things happen. Now, you see this unexpected error there. Things happen in different manner. If you get bad news, the price will drop, because not every investor understand what all of this is about. When they see a lot of green in one coin, they'll jump the token. They don't actually look at a sale and buy in at a lower price to make higher profits. That's what you actually do if you want to execute. Now, yes, even in this market, we are definitely making profits in the Patreon group. If you see this, we are posting regularly. the updates for different assets are always there, and definitely we have 865 guys doing these trades, making these profits. Now yes, there would be, like, if I'm posting 10 charts, 7 to 8 would be correct, 2 to 3 would always be wrong. But yeah, there are some times when I post 10 and 9 are correct. So if you want to follow these kind of updates for assets which you follow in such a manner, then yeah, it's always better to look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. If you want to take benefit of this, leverage this. Now this is only the Patreon, right? This is for the basic tier guys. Now when you enter into the Telegram alerts from Premium, Platinum and Diamond Plus and all, you get a lot more value, right? If you are looking for making profits, yeah, in crypto market, you can look at that. Telegram group gives you real-time alerts in a even regular manner. Constantly you would be alerted there. And then if you are looking to be an investor, to make money in the crypto market and then leverage it using other markets, once the bull market in crypto is over in the next 8 to 10 months, if you are not prepared as an investor, you wouldn't be preserving that wealth you created from the crypto, right? So if you want to do that kind of stuff, you can look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description. And if you received value for your time, please do support the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.